The Zerg swarm is a terrifying and ruthless amalgamation of biologically advanced arthropodal aliens. Dedicated to the pursuit of genetic perfection, the Zerg relentlessly hunt down and assimilate advanced species across the galaxy, incorporating useful genetic code into their own. They are named the Swarm per their ability to rapidly create strains, and the relentless assaults they employ to overwhelm their foes. Alongside the Protoss and Terrans, the Zerg stand as one of the three dominant species of the Milky Way, and are universally feared, hated, and hunted as such. The swarm in itself makes up a third of the power of the Koprulu sector. The Zerg remain in areas of the galaxy outside the Koprulu sector. In the Alpha, the Zerg were a race of biomechanical creatures. Samwise Didier has commented that the biomechanical idea has arguably come full circle as of StarCraft II, where by the end of the game, various infested mechanical units were used by the Zerg, such as the infested Banshee. It was decided early on that the Zerg would literally swarm their enemies. They were originally conceived as teeth and feral rage, the dark side of evolution. Sharks were used as a point of reference in the original conception, taking flight to hunt humans from the sky. The name Nightmare Invaders was retained for the freeware version of StarCraft, loomings on its victory screen. Alongside the Terrans and Protoss, the Zerg aesthetic was decided early on in the development of StarCraft, that their structures would be spiky, almost triangular. The triangular aspect came from Samwise Didier, applying shape language theory to the three races, with the Zerg structures being triangles, the Terrans squares, and Protoss structures being elliptical. The Zerg were developed concurrently alongside the Protoss. However, the Zerg underwent more revision than their counterpart in the original game. Blizzard frequently let its artists hold jam sessions to find the right look for the creatures. The Hydralisk became the basis for the Zerg after its reveal, namely that the Zerg would be a purely organic race, with the look and feel being hard chitinous plates and supple muscular flesh with lots of sharp points. Who is this? Greater User Red joined early at the day, and Penguhu did as well. The faction was moved from New Guinea to Argentina for strategic and resource purposes. The faction was transferred to Greater User Red, and Nicolander Finn was made into a co-leader. The faction allied Roman Empire and made enemies with Not Argentina. Fizz and Pop joined, and the empire expanded by one chunk. He was kicked later that day as he wasn't planning to play. A sheep farm was created. The faction allied with Yakuza. Not Argentina moved into southern Argentina after being under threat of war from the Void Empire. Once the grace period ended, Not Argentina's former base was quickly annexed by the Void Empire, and the cows found in their former base were moved to the Empire and made into a farm. The base was also improved. After the initial success of German invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941, Nazi Germany attempted to implement the General Plan Ost and Hunger Plan as part of its war of extermination in Eastern Europe. The Soviet resurgence and entry of the U.S. into the war meant Germany lost the initiative in 1943, and by late 1944 had been pushed back to the 1939 border. Large-scale aerial bombing of Germany escalated, and the Axis powers were driven back in Eastern and Southern Europe. After the Allied invasion of France, Germany was conquered by the Soviet Union from the east and the other allies from the west, and capitulated on 8 May 1945. Hitler's refusal to admit defeat led to massive destruction of German infrastructure and additional war-related deaths in the closing months of the war. The Allies initiated a policy of denazification and put many of the surviving Nazi leadership on trial for war crimes at the Nuremberg trials. Common English terms for the German state in the Nazi era are Nazi Germany and the Third Reich, which Hitler and the Nazis also referred to as the Thousand-Year Reich, Tausendjähriges Reich. The latter, a translation of the Nazi propaganda term Drittes Reich, was first used in Das Dritte Reich, a a 1923 book by Arthur Moeller van den Broek. The book counted the Holy Roman Empire, 962-1806, as the First Reich and the German Empire, 1871-1918, as the second. Shahir Zam chose the name Ben 10, Alienverse, when the two other options, i.e., Ben 10, Ultimate Omniverse, and Ben 10, Omni-Alien, were already taken. Unfortunately, the show ended after 2 episodes when Shahir Zam felt that it was starting to get boring for him. So, fun fact, there is a show called The Secret Saturdays that canonically takes place in the Ben 10 classic continuity. This isn't like a generator wreck situation where there are 2 different universes connected by the null void, or a crossover nexus situation where all Cartoon Network is treated as one multiverse. No, they are set in the same universe. There is apparently a lot of information in the pop-ups and stuff connecting the original series of Ben 10 to The Secret Saturdays. And there is also a Secret Saturdays crossover with Ben 10 Omniverse that is considered to be canon, both portraying them as part of the same universe. Apparently, Secret Saturdays is set in the 5-year gap between original series and Alien Force. If this why... We are one this expected because I never mind. Thanks for watching. Weekly on Subscribe, we side zone over channel.